The Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Rocket Mortgage Classic Picks Preview. One and done. Maybe some bets for you. Recapping last week. And there's a lot to recap, folks. Especially a lot of the winners that were out there for the second consecutive week. Remember, everyone out there, smash the like button for the video. Give me your winner for the week in the comment section. And if you are downloading the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, I mean, if you're watching this video, subscribe to the podcast too. Use double the views, double the clicks. We could use that. Scroll down to the very bottom and rate it 5 stars. You can leave a review too. That would be fantastic. I might have some more Millionaire Maker ticket free entries this week. I'll be releasing those on Twitter, presumably around Wednesday at noon Eastern time, because that's when it's been the last 2 weeks. They tell me on like Tuesday evening or something like that, but that's usually when it's been. That's been somewhat consistent, so that's when I'm doing the giveaways this week. I had $400 to give away this week. We'll see how many I get this week. I wish they would tell me in advance so I could tell you, but this is what I know at the moment. So that's what it is. Join the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League, too. The PME Open. The link is in the description of this video and podcast. There's already 3,000 people entered in this contest, so seats are dwindling very quickly. It's filled by Monday evening the past 2 weeks. I expect it to do it again this week, so get your spot now if you want to play in the best tournament on DraftKings. Why? Because it is rake-free. Geoff Fienberg is in studio.
There's a back door into that tournament.
Just scumbagging me right off the top. You find it by going to the podcast, and then I get the download for the podcast. That's the exchange that I make.
Well, where's everyone else getting it?
They found it in yesterday's show. I do the first look show. It's up there. That's where they're getting it. You know of a different way, do you?
No, I don't.
You want a text thread where people are, do not share around the link.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yeah, that's big time. That's how you get banned for life.
Even if...
I'll get DK to ban you for my contest. I don't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't share it. I've seen you really take care of people.
Yeah, I tried to.
I was just amazed last night we were already filling up. But I forgot like a few others about your Sunday drop show.
The Sunday, I came out Saturday night the past 2 weeks. I come in on Saturday afternoon, bang it out. It was great this week because the golf got finished like super early on Saturday. I thought it was fantastic. Golf, I could use it like bumped up a little bit. Like golf over by 3 for round 3, I'm 100% in on that.
I think there's stages of life where the timing does work better. I think the phase we are in, I completely agree. This early round, we got the young children. But when you're older, I feel like, you know...
When you're Tim Andercast?
Or you live a life of Tim... You get out, you play your golf in the morning, you come home, and you watch leaders tee off.
Couldn't you just do that in reverse order? Couldn't you just go play your golf in the afternoon?
I think there's this concept of even if you're watching golf, you're still like around the house as opposed for dinner. Well, you're for the family. Well, if it was the other way around, you're literally gone.
Good napping time too. That late afternoon golf, like when the like CBS coverage kicks in. Like an hour into that, I could take a nap.
It's essentially like an Open Championship when they tee off that early.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
But I also
like what else do you really got going on a Saturday morning? Unless you're going to play golf.
I'm here for all the variations. I enjoy the Hawaii time.
Yeah.
Like where it's like late nights. Sometimes. I
watch less of it.
At Chambers Bay and Pebble and the match play at Harding Park where we are going into the pre-fight of Pacquiao-Mayweather.
Okay, sure, yes. If it's a major-esque field or a WGC and it happens once or twice a year that we get primetime golf, I love that. That's great. For your average week, give it to me in the morning. I'm good on Sunday. Let it go through. Saturday.
You're right. I'm down. I'm good for morning golf as long as the networks treat it like it's afternoon golf.
Well, it was a bit difficult this week. They were not prepared for that.
And yeah, there are a lot of circumstantial things. No,
mad.
It was just a tipping point again.
It was on TV here in Canada.
Oh, we were great. I was mad before I knew that. I never would have gotten mad if I knew it was just the Americans getting screwed.
I mean, if you put in like CBS/golf, you could have just streamed it. And if you can't figure out how to mirror your phone to your TV, you're just a fucking moron.
No, I can, but it's still a different quality. And for me, it's not even that. It's not even the ability. I want the product treated as as quality as I feel for it. Like, I want the people that host the product, that pay to televise it, to treat it with the respect I feel it deserves. I'm certainly capable of mirroring my television. Some people aren't. Some people might find it more difficult. Some people might need to spend 8 minutes on the phone with their father teaching them how to do 3 buttons. That's just the reality.
I don't know how many 80-year-old viewers we have.
But of watching the golf.
Yeah, but you said your dad didn't care anyway. He would have watched it.
No,
on
I
tape
wasn't talking about me.
Yeah, but the people.
My dad would watch that tape delay.
Yeah, tape delay. Here we go.
Wouldn't give a shit. Oh, play 3 hours ago. Like I said, he's got no app. He's not checking no leaderboard. He doesn't have no 5 or 6 lineup he needs to pay attention to. Wouldn't even know what it is. I just want the like, if any game that was real got moved, it would be treated respectable. Golf is still in its own, like, golf island, which maybe will be if we get a few more COVID tests.
Yes, we'll see about that. But the COVID stuff in general, like the lack of people on site, like, if this was like a normal week, nothing had happened. It's crappy, but this is how you would presume it would be anyway. But now that there are fewer, like, production people on site, you have to coordinate, like, across the globe in 6 different places to get the broadcast out. I think it's just a bit more challenging.
We're getting Shot Tracer from New Zealand.
Yeah. And there's a backup in, like, San Diego.
Yeah. In Burbank, yeah.
That's what Nance is saying every week. They draw the map. I like it.
No, that's the reality of it.
I was walking around Sunday. I went for like an hour and a half long walk. I was listening to the radio broadcast the entire time. Great broadcast. They need to cut it out with the momentum talk. Every shot, momentum has swung. It's like, momentum can't swing like that. It's not how it works. I'm sorry.
They get
Every
excited.
Single
they get excited.
Fucking shot. Well, Dustin Johnson clearly has the momentum. It's like, well, I thought he had the momentum, but then he made a bogey. So Brendan Todd has the momentum. Now, what are you talking about? Fuck off. Just call the shots.
I actually spent very little time with the radio on Sunday, so I didn't hear what you're saying, but I can't besmirch radio. The passion they deliver it with is appreciated.
I like when they're clearly rooting for someone. Like, there was one guy, the guy who was following around the Streelman group was clearly rooting for Kevin Streelman to win. I like that sort of like homerism on the radio broadcast. I do. It's like when people watch, I don't know, baseball games. You want your like homer guy cheering for your team. I get it.
The best thing about radio too is you get way better post-round interviews.
I don't really care about that. Oh. What are they gonna, like? What are they telling me? Like, oh yeah, didn't hit it great today. Thanks, I saw.
No, way in depth. I guess it depends on the player, but this is like Bryson was talking. This is where the Bryson, like, 6 protein shakes a day.
You're into that sort of stuff. I don't care. Like, you watch that like weird Chargers channel when they do press conferences.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Like, you go to like Chargers Instagram and watch like whatever the fuck they post.
Not
behind the scenes with, I don't know.
Oh, you
Denzel Perriman.
Anything behind that wall, I am in for. On that note, I finished The Last Ride. Better. I'd argue
good?
Better than The Last Dance. The Undertaker. I guess it's a 5 or 6 part documentary that followed him over the last couple years as he struggled with the decision to retire. Like, oh my God, it was outstanding.
I'm glad to hear that. Was it transparent? Because it's a WWE production. Like, is it fair?
Yeah, it seemed very fair. Oh yeah, you got a lot of like current superstars saying like he should retire, like, because they were interviewing like 2 years ago. Like, I don't like watching this. You still have Michelle McCool, still a knockout. Anything behind the wall, I love seeing. And you said the Chargers are on freaking Hard Knocks.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
I don't like that. I don't want you seeing it. I only want to see it. It should just be a private feed for me.
Here's the thing about
I hate Hard Knocks.
I've been out on Hard Knocks for a while.
Well, here's the thing.
It's the same thing every single year.
Yeah, it's been the same show since it was created. Now, if it's your own team, that's like different. I'll see Austin Eckler playing the guitar.
Everyone's in the best shape of their lives.
It's actually a joint Hard Knocks, Rams and Chargers. Pretty weird. I actually wonder if
McVay is going to be such a star.
Do you think that will continue? I mean, why would they even let more crew into the locker rooms now?
I don't know. I don't really.
We're off track. I'm sorry. My fault.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in. We haven't talked any golf yet. You know what I can talk about?
I don't really love the board, so maybe we could just keep talking.
Yeah, we'll fly through the board this week. It's not great. Not a major-esque field in Detroit this week. I think when they were looking at it at the very outset, that, Travelers gets this field and Heritage and Colonial. You know that the guys at Rocket Mortgage are like, come on, please everyone show up. And then everyone's like, yeah, fuck this tournament.
They thought they might have, the big boys will play 2 in a row, skip Travelers. Maybe we can get some to ours. But I think the second they saw the hat trick commitments from the elite players.
And back-to-back Memorial. Because if you go play Memorial once, you're probably going to play it twice. That this is the very logical week to skip.
And I was kind of wrong in the Memorial breakdown. It just seems like there's one full field and one semi-full field event. I thought one of them was like an actual WGC, like strength field. It seems like there's like a 120-man field and a 160-man field.
Yeah, so the workday, I believe, is what's replacing the John Deere. That'll be 156 players. And then the 120 is like the regular Memorial Invitational, where it only has the 120 players. They got rid of that for Heritage and Colonial because they needed to have people back. But the Memorials, Jack's like, now. If we're going to play it here twice, we're going to have the real one. Then you can have your phony baloney one that pays like $600K if you win.
That's a lot of milkshakes for 2 weeks.
This is true. You're packing on the pounds when you head to Ohio. Muirfield Village. So, viewers of the show and members of FantasyNational.com use 20%, get 20% off by using FantasyNational.com/Mayo, by the way. Turns out they had a good week, Jeffrey. You ready for this?
It's a long list.
Gardner Reese, $231,864 of winnings on DraftKings. Danny Triplett, my man, Danny's going through a very tough time right now. Tweeted at me. Our wish, anything we can do, like I told you, anything we can do, if it's just making you laugh and killing some time, we're all here for it. So best shout out to Danny. He won $117K on DraftKings. He reached out to me. So shout out to Danny on that one. Andrew turned $495 into $27,625. Rambo won $27K on $2,700 on DK, $18K on a $1,000 bet on DJ. Chris Lowe won $6,175 off $42 of entries. Riku, our guy, $2,500 into $9,700. Austin Eckhart, $600 into $2,400. Richard Sukrin, $102 into $4,300. Jason Bennett, the Showdown Master, played $53 worth of entries, cashed out $6,400 on DraftKings. Tim Booma, $24 into $575. Andy Phillips turned $5 into $1,035. He won the 25-cent jukebox and the $1 single entry GPP. Tom Wise, $80 into $530. Brian Boyer, $175 into $6,600. Kevin Toohey, $300 into $3,600. Jamie Chapin, $12 into $128. Good ROI. Clint Ward played 25 cents worth of entries this week. He won $175.
Love it. Love it.
Ryan Conley, $190 into $26.93. Brad Taylor won $5K. Ben, 140 into 1,033. Daryl Longley, 42 into 186. Eric, 875. David Hampton, 800. That's just on DraftKings. You ready for this? Screenshots of the people who hit themselves some Dustin Johnson coming off a Webb Simpson, making it 4 winners in 5 events for me, 5 winners in 6 events for Geoff Fienberg. YNWA, Chris Heath, Nikki Noodles, Kaz, Riley, Eric Odenthal, Ryan, Chris Lowe, Brad McAllister, Michael Rappel, Ross Bilderson, Dallas Kurtz, Tim Peterson, Blair Bushy, Joe Weaver, Bobby Gordon, Travis Fizzy, Glenn G, Joe Goodman, Drew P, the Captain, Steve Mack, Bob, Matt Gapelier, Chris Legger, Brian Gerald, TYBO, Aaron FT-Dub, Dion Sandals, Jonathan Rose, Stuart Gallagher, he's DFS, Brad Brzezinski, Kevin Amber, Eric, Chad Meadows, Adam Winston, Big Gut Sports, Unshields, Jay Horn, BJY, Jay Knock, Adam Ronas, Chris Vaccaro, Golf Pat, Tyler Dupree, Brandon Cook, Eddie Moore, The Me, John Hanlon, R. Kellogg, Alan Beavers, Mike Furcus, Curtis E. Flush, that's a good name, Josh Miramontes, Casey Keys, Michael Sheedy, Brian, Thomas Ray, Dub McLean, Glint Mack, R. Hoops, Jordan Irk, Tim Pichetti, Kevin Reed, Tyler Mataras, David Sachs, Marshall Clark, Mark Huntington, Chris Meany, Penny Check, Colin Bovin, Alex Skoros, Austin Webster, David Lundy, Eric O'Neill, Gary Thorne, and Jake Hahn. There was another 100 names on that list. I had to stop going.
That was freaking amazing. And my boy Jed Lowe, his daughter was born on the same day as DJ's birthday last week. Not a DJ guy, decided this is just fate.
Fate.
And it happened. So, like, I said this last night on Twitter. DJ wins. It's a personal thing, I guess. They always feel better. I don't know. They feel
He's
better.
your guy.
Like
You're rocking Team Adidas today.
Oh, what a guy! What a! It felt almost. There were times I thought I was reliving like the Fowler Phoenix win of last year,
But at a better number.
at a better number. But like just these insane like things that kept happening. And Streelman just, oh my God, like the Streelman eclipse always scared me all day.
Well,
all day you just worry that eclipse, once the two-generation Streelman eclipse is going to catch you.
Just because we kept hearing about it, like he holds the record for most consecutive birdies to end a tournament and win. It's at this tournament, 7 in a row. He just couldn't make a putt coming down the stretch. But I felt really good when Rory didn't get it going early. He didn't get it going until like the back 9, and then he ended up making the double on 17. People were like giving him shit for that, but like that was the other thing the radio broadcast was doing. They were giving Rory shit about going into the water on 17. They're like, I can't believe he tried to go for the pin from that bunker with his lie. It's like, well, Rory's not here to come in third. Rory is here to win. He thinks he needs to get to minus 20 or make as many birdies as possible. He has 2 holes left. I bet you he's going to go for it. Even if it's a 1%er, he's going for it.
The other part of it is a guy like Rory at that stage of the tournament, he doesn't care if like going in the water making a double costs him
A top 10.
$50K.
Yeah, it's nothing.
He's
not Will Gordon.
He's almost taking that shot to have like the highlight Brooks drive of last week.
Yeah.
Like that's just what he's doing. That is worth more money to him to have like a viral, insane shot going for it in the situation he's in than it going in the water. It doesn't matter. He's not here to protect anything, status, anything. I don't know if there's what his situation would be for number 1 in the world, but John Rahm and Justin Thomas didn't play well enough to even scare that.
No, Thomas missed the cut. Rahm kind of faltered on the weekend, but Bryson also didn't make the run early. And those were those.
Bryson bogey was a happy moment early. He had one early.
And he bogeyed the 13th, the par 5 too, which is really weird. So it was those 2 and Nah were the 3 guys that I was scared about. I wasn't super concerned about Brendan Todd, and I'll tell you why. He hit every fairway except for 1 through 3 rounds. Yes, he is the most accurate player on tour. That can happen. But it was a lot like Graham DeLette at Heritage the year that Wes Bryant ended up winning, where I think he had hit 99% of greens in regulation through 3 rounds. Like, that's unsustainable. Like, it really is. Like, you're gonna miss a fairway or 2. And it's funny because he made the triple bogey from the middle of the fairway, but everything was just going so right for him that he hadn't had the hiccups that almost everyone else had. And then, Tim said he was free money, and all of a sudden he doesn't make a birdie the entire day, and that was the end of Brendan Todd. Feel bad for the Todd father, but he's got his 2 wins this year. I was thinking, if he had won that tournament, where would that put him on, like, Ryder Cup? Like 3 wins is a lot of wins. Although maybe his 2 from last year don't count. Maybe it's just this year. I don't know how that works. And now it's pushed another year. I'm not quite sure how they're scoring.
Well,
this.
now they might count, but it's definitely a 2-year running total. I feel for the Ryder Cup, at least on the American side. I believe that. But here's the
DJ
didn't.
Anyone could have caught DJ. Just no one did catch DJ.
No one could have caught him.
He didn't play wide. He made and sometimes you need putting luck. He had an amazing putter.
Was that on 10?
On Sunday.
He hit such a sick putt from the uphill on the fringe.
Yeah,
or like at least like 4 or 5 feet off the green.
Yeah, it technically counted as
and we had a
chip,
great
I
camera.
believe.
We had a great camera for it. It looked pure the whole way.
You need that if you're going to win. You need that sort of luck. But he opened the door for everyone to come back and get him. No one had the guts to come back and get him. But the big thing that Dustin did over the weekend that basically no one else did, every time that he needed to save par from 5 feet, he didn't lip it out.
Yeah.
He made every single one of them, they went in the bottom of the cup.
I could think of 2 that stand out enormously. I don't know if that's the proper word.
For bogey on the par 5 on Sunday, made the 9-footer.
Okay, so then we'll call that 3 because we're talking about the par save. So that's the greatest bogey save.
2 on Sunday.
2 on Sunday. Just let's go. We're fine. There was 1 in the middle of the heater on Saturday, like a 13, 12-footer for par before he got real hot coming home. Super clutch. The 2 on Sunday. And then, the bogey putt, which I don't even think of. If you'd have told me DJ was going to play the 2 par 5s at 1 over and then not even birdie I want to say 15.
15, yeah, because he should have went in the water. But didn't.
Oh my God.
Although the result was the same anyway.
The same.
Because whether he went in the water or not, he didn't get it on the green trying to pop it up anyway. It would have been the same thing.
Same thing. And I've seen guys, if you stat tracked or followed it, you go in that water there, you were almost like an 80% par from just going in the water there. You're dropping right beside the green.
Yeah, here's a quick tip on that hole. Lay up.
Oh.
No, not Dustin. Everyone. Like, how successful were people trying?
Bryson laid up.
Yeah, because by the analytics, it tells you to lay up. Because unless you're Lebiota, who did it on like Saturday, he put it to like 9 feet for eagle. Like that sort of upside is great if you can make the eagle, but if you just play for birdie, you're probably going to make birdie. You don't short side yourself in the rough on the right and then not be able to get it up on that tier, and then you're parring the hole anyway. Like, it's stupid.
And did Dustin birdie 9? Is the short par?
Yeah, he birdied 9, 10, and 12, I think, because he bogeyed 8 and he bounced back right away.
All Sunday was full of bounce backs for him after the ugly bogey on the par 5, and even when he made he tied Todd and then he dropped one. And he got it right back. It was a great, I love that.
Shout out Will Gordon, too.
Amazing.
Great to see. Got his card for the rest of the year.
Slayed John Rahm yesterday.
He did.
Slayed him.
Just like, what was the other big one? Kazire beat the crap out of whoever he played.
I don't know.
It was
but Will Gordon was like a plus 270 on a matchup. I saw Rahm pulling like 333, 350.
I had a good week for matchups. Didn't play that many. I played a few like 3-ball parlays, but I played like 4 3-balls and did like the 2 parlays. You know what I'm talking about? Like the round robin. So they all paid like 11 to 1. They were great. You only need to hit 2 of them. I just never know which 2.
Enough is enough. The disgusting besmirchment that Golf Channel, PGA Tour Live have for Phil Mickelson is disgusting. What am I talking about? You're still rocking that profile picture. I've been talking about for months. I'm happier to see some people with more little mainstream cred than us finally got on it. But no disrespect to the chubby folk. He looks like a butch soccer mom, and he's worked too hard to make those gains. Those gains are so impressive. He deserves better. It's Phil Mickelson. I understand, Pat, if they don't want to, in a profile picture, acknowledge Scott Stallings' gains, because they don't care.
Well, he lost his gains.
I don't know. I just remember him being like a crazy story whatever. I'm saying they could take a little extra time to get around to fixing his profile picture. But this Phil Mickelson thing is going on years now.
Can we get him with the aviators in his profile pic? I am so pro him wearing aviators.
It's not like Phil doesn't end up in featured groups. It's not like Golf Channel doesn't profile his weekend scorecards. It's not like there aren't gallons of minions in these buildings. One of you. Just one of you raise your hand and say, "Excuse me, I can fix this for us."
It is the worst player profile picture since early 2010s Tom Brady, middle part like this.
This is
like a handsome fella here. Like, what are you doing to the poor guy? I get that he's won Super Bowls.
It's almost like Phil lost a bet, like a heavy cash game bet, and like because you think he would have the pull, or Amy at home, or the kids, would notice. He's out there playing. I cannot believe it. It is disgusting. It's a disgusting picture, but it's disgusting that it exists still.
I'm glad Phil had like a pretty good week. Just looking at his numbers, like he wasn't going to close after having the 36-hole lead. But just following him around
the man
on PGA Live and him like, oh yeah, I'm next to these railroad tracks. No, I know the rule for this one. Now that I'm like pro Phil, it's entertaining. Whereas before I would have been like, this guy's cheating.
Oh my God. Like a pair of Marty Schottenheimer Aves and joggers. Like this guy, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
With Victor Hovland rocking like the knockoff discount store Adidas track pants, the 2-stripe. What are you doing, Vic?
Yeah, like you. I'm here for this whole Phil thing. And there will be, I think even as the broadcast acknowledged, or maybe it was radio.
He's going to have a moment.
Yeah, of course. Birdie Fests won't be his, though. It'll be one of those.
It'd be better if he was crafty, like here this week.
Crafty moment, like an Open Championship.
No, see,
crafty.
Yeah,
crafty day.
I think he can win a Birdie Fest against a crappy field, though. Like if he was here this week, he'd have a chance.
Okay, so he wants to show up at Wyndham's You're right.
He
No,
doesn't,
fine.
though.
But when
Like,
you
also, when looking at this, why isn't Jordan Spieth at this event? Go
whatever.
get your fucking win, man. He's hitting his irons well. Can't drive the ball for shit, but that doesn't matter this week.
But I had this in my notes. Just a question to ask you. You need to set a bet that's a pick'em. Who wins next? Spieth versus it's
Phil?
a pick'em. That's who you pick?
No.
I'm asking. Like who? Like where do you hold them now in it? Because I'm never gonna. Again,
Okay, let me ask you
he's
this:
not going to win again. He will
if I
win
ran
again.
a poll,
Yeah.
and I said who wins the tournament first, Jordan Spieth, Tony Finau, or Ricky Fowler?
I would bet the other guys instantly.
But is that not fair? Those two guys to throw them into that bucket? Maybe
they
one of them-
are. Maybe they
they'll
are.
both be co-champions this
so
week.
you think
I
that's
don't
a
know.
pick'em?
Yeah, I think so.
You think that? Who do you actually? Well, okay. Let's determine who would you rather have in Finau or Fowler.
Finau?
Me too.
Well, that's probably the wrong side. Like Fowler will just get so hot with his putter, he'll win. Like this week, if he gains like 7 strokes putting, he's probably going to win. We just haven't seen it from him. He's also very Spieth-esque, and he's lost the ability to drive the ball at all.
Always playing out of trouble. Always want a good moment. This is where he can start a birdie. Where's Ricky on the birdie hole? In trouble.
At least with Finau, like Finau's not hitting his irons well, like coming out of the hiatus.
Well, he'll dial that.
But
in.
he's just, as per usual,
Same guy.
Big Ricky, a.k.a. Bullet Tooth Tony, can't play easy holes well. Just mangles easy holes. I don't get it. Maybe he's overthinking it. I don't quite get it.
Well, I'm gonna get laughs from the back row today because we'll be there later.
Okay. Shout out Will Gordon. That's about it. Oh, I want to talk about hedging just very briefly because a lot of new people watching the show, a lot of new people holding web tickets last week, holding DJ tickets this week, want to know after 3 rounds if you can hedge. It's unless you get into a situation like we saw with Phil and Stenson at the Open Championship where 2 guys are like 7 strokes clear of everyone else, it's really difficult to hedge going into a Sunday. Just in general, like there's so many, especially at this course
Hyper rare.
where 61s and 62s are a thing. That means that anyone from basically 11 under could technically come back. Because I said, because people wanted to hedge onto Todd. It's like, well, what if Todd doesn't play well? And DJ shoots like 68 and Na shoots 63 and he wins, then you lose double your money.
The last time I hedged on a Sunday morning was like 3 or 4 years ago, the Honda Scott versus Sergio.
And they were way
and
ahead.
I had Sergio. They were like 4 or 5 out. Maybe that was risky. It was a good hedge. Because I was going to be on an airplane all day. And I hedged. The hedge was the winner.
And Scott put it in the water like 4 times too and still won.
I don't even remember that part of it. But it's an insane. There are so many trapdoors. Even like late on Sunday, I'm still paranoid about Bryson getting hot or Streelman getting hot, or like I feel like we could hedge here that like Dustin gives one back, and it was at 3 strokes and you were feeling good, and then Dustin hit it out of bounds, and then there's nothing you could do the rest of the day, really.
If you wanted to throw into Streelman.
Yeah, there was a point where it felt...
But there's also a thing, too. Like, it's different if you have Todd and Dustin Johnson is 2 back. I think that's a much different situation than you have Dustin Johnson, by far the better player, 2 strokes back, and then the next closest guy, who's like a great player, is 3 strokes behind him. You got to give DJ a chance to go win this for you. That's why you bet on him.
And in that situation where you have the power player, I would probably not hedge and say if it goes to a playoff, I can make that decision.
You'll get the plus money.
Is huge plus money versus DJ in a one-off.
Yeah, so if that goes to a playoff, it's what? DJ minus...
180, 190?
I don't think it's that big.
70?
I'd say probably like minus 150 plus
I guess
140.
because DJ would have wilted it away. Wouldn't even like he had to birdie to get the playoff.
Coming out of the delay, I was convinced DJ was going to put it in the water on that par 3. He put it in the bunker, but still, I was just like, what are you doing, man?
Well, those are hard. I mean, those are 2 of the hardest drives on the courses. The 16s, the tee shot with the par 3 with the water, 17 as the water too.
Once he striped it on 17 and like hit it off the tee and just didn't even bother looking at it, picked it up and started walking, I was like, all right, here we go. And then 18, where was that all day?
Because that's where the trouble was. Even early where we weren't getting the birdies, he was in trouble.
But he wasn't hitting driver. He pulls out driver. He smacks at 350 straight. He's pulling out like 4 irons.
He hit the
and
driver OB.
hybrids.
He hit the driver OB on 13. Shot maybe of his day. You have a guess?
The best shot he hit all day was the drive on 18. That was
yes.
major league impressive.
Number 4, maybe the second or first hardest hole there. He drives it in the thick
and puts it to
rough.
like 5 feet.
490-yard par 4, dead sort of right. Obviously, it's a clear shot at it, but you couldn't even see the ball, and he gets it to 5 feet like a man.
Back to the hedging thing just for 1 second. It turned out to be Will Gordon, the guy who ended up making the run from deep odds. But I ended up throwing like a little piece on Stallings, Sung Yul No, and Kazire because they were 80, 80, and 100 to 1. Like, you're not hedging. You're using a little bit of your capital if you ended up winning, but you're using it on these 3 long shots that even if they do get into contention, you either get like 2 guys into the 3-way split, or maybe you just get up against those guys and all of a sudden you're fine. Like, it's a very low risk way to give yourself a few more outs if you're really that concerned about it. That's what I did.
Yeah. Right. You could have hedged probably on like, I'm sure that there was a point where the cash out was 90%.
The best cash out that I saw
after he hit that birdie on 10.
It gave me up to 26 to 1 at one point. I was like, I want my full 30 to 1. So I bet him 30 to 1.
Yeah. I didn't put this out Sunday night.
Yeah, to bail on it now. Although I felt it's funny because I felt a lot worse about Dustin coming down the stretch than I did Webb last week, which is really strange because Webb had a way bigger chance of losing.
Yeah, there are more people that scared me. Neiman, Hatton. I wouldn't have, even if it went to a playoff, I'd have liked my chances on 18 of DJ versus Streelman. And when your caddy wears the same hat as you, cooler, like, come on. You're old, but figure it out. There's one more thing about DJ. I don't even, whatever. We can.
Is it Mackenzie Hughes made, I think it was 9 times as many feet as putts on the last 2 holes as Brendan Todd did all day?
Putts were amazing. Mackenzie Hughes, I was right there for that putt he made on 16 at Honda.
He makes 70-foot putts.
That was such a cool putt. And thank God Streelman didn't get the line because he gave Streelman that line.
Well, Streelman started putting like Streelman does when I have money on him coming down the stretch. It's like, 15 feet, not close. Perfect. Thanks. Not even brushing the edges. Because that's who was doing that? Bryson was doing that. All weekend. Like lip outs. Like, he's so close. Which brings us to Detroit.
Okay. Bryson's
the favorite in the field. He's plus 650. Webb is here. Reed is here. Hatton's here. Hideki's here. And Hovland. Those are all your guys below 30 to 1. Bryson's 6.5 to 1. I think that Bryson is not the favorite in this field. I don't see why. I understand.
Oh, there's a tax.
You're getting the Bryson tax. This is not
the coolest.
This is not a fair price for Bryson, and the fact that he is priced almost half of what Webb is priced is insane. And that's not to say that Bryson can't win. He most definitely can win. But to say that he has double the chance of winning this tournament as Webb Simpson is crazy. Or 3 times as better chance of winning than Patrick Reed? You kidding me?
You almost hope if Bryson's going to pick the week to win by 7 because we're all just waiting for it, just maybe let it be this one.
Sure.
Because it's going to happen. I take such offense to anybody who wants to poke a single hole. Because he didn't win in a month. I mean, yes, it's been a while, but
he won Saudi Arabia last year.
He's gone through so many changes, and he's coming out of it like firing Pat. Like, I don't know whatever the first test was coming out into the new year before COVID. What's the
Phoenix was his first event. He came 52nd in Phoenix since 5th at Genesis, 2nd in Mexico, 4th at API, 3rd at Charles Schwab, 8th at Heritage, 6th last week.
And he's still beta testing. He was getting there, and then we went into lockdown, and he put a new update into the program. There's not a negative word. I take offense with negative words. Is the price a little too low for a guy that hasn't won since 2018?
I'm not worried about the wins. That price just that's
fine. I can agree with that.
That's Rory in Canada last year numbers.
Yeah, that's fine. The other part with Bryson is he's even acknowledging something I loved, I think was from the Saturday radio post round. Doesn't matter how many times he's played somewhere before, Pat, everywhere is new. Everywhere is new. He has no markings. He's hitting these shots from places he's never hit them before. Doesn't matter what he did last year at some of these courses.
You know what I'm liking? Our Bryson Masters tickets. Because
You
he's,
said it.
he's down to 16 to 1 to
Okay.
win the Masters.
I'm everywhere. And I've said this many times all year. Just as my wife, she's all about, we got to get like a will. So we've been working on a will. I don't know why I need a whatever. Whatever. Peace of mind. Can't put a price on it. All about this will. So finally, we're doing it. We're doing it. It involves like having to pay a lawyer. It's kind of annoying. And talking to this lawyer. And I don't own anything. I don't own anything.
You own a house?
Well, no, I own the house, but that automatically goes. I was like, tell me about your possessions. Like, what do you have? And like laughing. Like,
I got like 10K on in this book, and my street guy owes me 4.
I got some Ladanian Tomlinson memorabilia. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. And then I said to him, okay, seriously, I got these Bryson major tickets. What if something happens to me in this short period? 50 to 1 at the Masters, 40 to 1 at the Masters, 28 to 1 at both the Open and the PGA Championship. And lock, stock, and barrel, he's going to win one of them. He's going to win one of them.
Watch him not. Because if he doesn't win and he continues to play this well, he is just pushing everyone else's numbers up,
That's
which is
fine,
great.
cool. I'm talking about at those big events. I'm happy. I can't wait to see what they're going to go off at. If I had to rank them in order of confidence, Masters number 1,
Agreed.
US Open number 2. You could say it's close with the PGA. PGA's 3rd. There's a wild card. It's called a marine layer. I don't know what San Francisco, like it could break a program. Who knows? So that's why I would order them with that order of confidence. But oh my God. And they better play this 2020 Masters in 2020, because who for like 3 freaking years been calling the 2020 Bryson Masters win?
You have. That's why we own the tickets. But
Let's go.
I don't want to bet him 60.
Can't bet it.
There's something you need to think about strategy-wise with this event. And sometimes it backfires, sometimes it doesn't. This is a web.com Corn Ferry course. Like, you need to go out. I realize that going out and making as many birdies as possible is usually a good strategy every week. This course was so easy last year. And they talked about growing up the rough. Maybe that's a bit different. The average drive at Detroit Golf Club last year, 296 yards. Average drive. 13 yards longer than tour average. Driving accuracy, 5% higher than your average tour event. Like, guys are just bombing it off the tee here. It's an iron and putting fest, which leads me to believe a long shot's going to win. So
let's do it.
Let's
back it up.
That
Let's
is
back it
that
up.
is what I wanted to get to. I know everyone wants to hear like, oh, who's like the hot play? I don't have a hot play this week. I think if it was me and I wanted to go to the top of the board, I would bet Reed and I'd bet Hatton, both at 16 to 1. I think those are fair numbers. They're good bets, and they are precisely the type of guys who should play well at this event. Hatton, when you go and look at his wins outside of API, his ones on the Euro Tour, you know what he wins? Birdie fests. He won Alfred Dunhill at -23 and -24. He won the Italia Open -21. That one in the 6-man playoff last year in Austria. He won at 20. Like, he's used to this sort of stuff. And Reed can go win Birdie Fest. Kidding me on bent grass? Please. He won in the desert at PGA West. He's won at a Ross course before at the Wyndham. So is Webb, mind you. But I don't know, if it's going to be like -23, -24, I'd rather those guys over Bryson and Webb. But I don't even. I think those odds are probably still too short. I think I might just pump the brakes and say, you know what? I'll take like 5 guys, 100 to 1 and beyond. If one of them comes inside the top 5, it's better than hitting a winner at this price. Or you could play it the other way around. And you have like Hideki, Hovland, Im. They're all right there. I think those are all fine plays as well. But the max price you're getting is 22 to 1. I don't have enough degree of, like, I would love to bet Hovland. I really would. I think just make a few putts and all of a sudden you're winning. And maybe he will end up being the guy, but like 22 to 1? It's fair in this field.
I don't hate it. It's where I might feel I want to start. I was part of the early crew last week that got the 60s that dropped to 40. So it's a punch in the gut to have to go this low. It would be Reed or Hovland for me. A lot of confidence in Hideki that he's going to pull a Webb. But I haven't seen from what I've seen from Hideki in the last 2 years, like I've seen from Webb, to say, I'll bet him to win.
So here's the thing. With Hideki at Heritage, he missed the cut. Lost 5.5 strokes putting in 2 rounds. Struck the ball actually really well. the most he's ever lost in 2 rounds.
That number got shorter.
Yeah, it was 22 when
with
it
the
opened.
day. People were happy to get on there. There's like a vibe, like I said, that it will be very web-like off the MC.
Each of the 20 top finishers at this event last year gained strokes putting. That almost never happens. They all finished in the positives. Which did you remember the leaderboard here last year? Lashley
It was the
won.
Lashley. I was out of it. I literally of the entire summer, an event I paid the least attention to, thinking about it, was this one. I was enjoying someone else's cottage.
The only guy who was good who did well, I guess Hideki came 13th, Reed came 5th. And then it was like Brian Stewart, Doc Redmond, Nate Lashley, Wes Roach. I'm sure Josh Teeter had a good week. Like,
Okay. I'm going to keep backing up.
All right.
think the only bet here I would consider making is Hovland, and it's simply because I'm hot and it's a peace of mind thing. I like to, if I felt good about the guy last week, I might want to ride that through. I hate seeing the number get crunched. You knew that was going to happen, and his putting, every time you tracked him, there was a putt for birdie.
oh yeah. But no live chat this week, by the way. Canada Day, taking the day off. I'll have a show for Wednesday, but I will not be live.
Midweek stat holiday, really annoying.
Screw them holidays.
Although
Fuck
I would
them.
argue my wife would probably enjoy it on the Wednesday than the Monday, because it was the Monday we'd still be doing this. And I'd be
Yeah.
out
Well,
of
when
the way.
is the 4th of July like holidays? Is it the Friday or the Monday? I know it's on the weekend, but like when do people take the day off? Or do they just take both days off? I don't know.
Maybe now they'll take both.
I don't know. But for years when we were at Fantasy, I just railed against any holiday
Anybody.
being on a Monday. It's like, we can't take Monday off. We can take every Friday off all year. We can't take any Mondays off. That makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
We work in sports. Stuff happens on the
Bro.
weekend, and that's our biggest day.
I worked for Morency, who would like scold at you for like talking about Christmas vacation.
Morency and I are very similar in that way.
And I get it. Like, you're in the building. This is a sports network. Like, the biggest games of the year in the NBA and college football are Christmas. There's no time for 80% of the office to be missing. And by 80, like 98.
Yeah, or even something like in Canada, Thanksgiving's always on a Monday, when the office would close, like week 7 of the NFL for Monday. It's
yeah.
like, what are you people
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
So it's me in there trying to like run a camera by myself. Terrible stuff. So let's get to this next range.
I like it.
Yeah, of course you do. It has both Ricky and Finau.
Big
Two
and little.
guys who aren't going to win.
Big and little.
Fowler's 33, overvalued. Tony Finau, 33, probably overvalued. Scotty Scheffler is 35. Kevin Na is interesting at 40 to 1.
Could bet that.
Poston, Bubba's here, he's 45. Harris English, 45. Doc Redmond, 45. Then you got Rory Sabatini and Jason Day at 50 and 55 to 1.
I've bet Tony Finau at 40.
I could have just given you some money you could have lit on fire.
Whatever. Think it works here.
It could listen. It could work anywhere.
It's
That's the whole appeal.
It's kind of like why I like Victor. I really think there's a Puerto Rico Open lane here.
Vibe to this.
Yeah.
I can't kill you for
I do
Finau
like
or
Na,
Fowler.
I do like Na though.
Like, does this feel like a nah course?
I-
Get your irons hot, make all the putts. Let's go.
And if this event was 2 weeks ago, Scheffler's like 18. Maybe not. No, that's a lie. But you know what? He's priced now what he was when we came into Colonial. Sorry, not Colonial. The first one was at Colonial.
Yeah.
Where everyone was so excited about him because he was on Instagram posting winning all the Muni charity events versus Victor and Will Zalatoris.
Bubba's real interesting here.
Well, how do you not go back?
Well, I mean, he played this last year and missed the cut.
But it's still like he could
It's a
flirt with 59 every day.
It's a
Like,
it's
Bubba.
a worse number than last week against a substantially worse field. And no one will go back to him this week. No one, because it's not a Bubba place. I'm just very intrigued.
But he could.
CC, very intrigued. He could win here for sure.
He's in a good place. I like this more. I happy to have said, even on the show, I zigged when everyone zagged on Bubba. I kind of bought into some made up narratives of my own. Sort of like, I loved Tim's anti-Bubba narrative. I stole it for all my radio bits last week. Bubba dominates the Travelers because every player worth a salt is exhausted from a U.S. Open that he always misses the cut at. He'd always show up refreshed. Anyway, I know it's just, something to giggle about. I don't mind this 45-1. I mean, if you're looking for a good, he can go nuts low.
Yeah. He most definitely can. The, problem with this course versus some of the other courses is that everyone can kind of drive the ball here. Like, there's not a huge advantage to being awesome off the tee versus other courses. At least that's what it showed year one. Maybe year two is going to be completely different. We can throw all that out. We don't have that big of a sample to make any sort of distinct conclusions. But there's 2 par 5s at this course that anyone in the field can get 2 and 2. You don't need to be Bubba to get there. Like, he and Bryson's 2 biggest things are somewhat mitigated at this course because you're going to have, I don't know, like your Zach Johnsons who can just still get into wedge range every time and go fire at pins. This reminds me a lot of the John Deere Classic.
I'm liking Kevin Na the more you're talking about this event.
I know, right?
And you're excited to get on him for RBC.
2 years ago. We missed out last week. We talked about it.
And you talked about it.
I was like, he's back. Like, he's not. Is he going to withdraw?
And he's just like maybe a hyper cautious WD. This sets up for him like 9 under 3 times in 4 days.
Yeah. And it's on bent. Like, we saw him do it. This is basically how Colonial played out 2 years ago. Or like when he went mental at Greenbrier. Like, these are all Kevin Na type places. Like, he putted well last week, hit the irons like okay. We know he can get so fire with the irons, and this isn't a place where his horrible driving is going to sink him necessarily. And that's a good number for Kevin Na. Let me ask you, if we look back at the past 2 years, trivia question, 2019, 2020, Bryson DeChambeau, Tony Finau, Ricky Fowler total wins versus Kevin Na total wins. Who was winning?
3-0?
3-0.
Maybe 2-0.
Greenbrier,
I don't know if the Greenbrier's in that calendar, but he's got...
You got Shriners and Colonial.
Yeah.
So 2-0.
Listen, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I don't know.
So is Kevin Na the play, 40-1?
I mean, here's the thing. I like to sort of say, nah, there's like a credibility issue that I think some may have even cost him his President's Cup win spot in that they didn't really respect the wins. And even the Greenbrier he won was like it's not the Greenbrier we remember.
It was the one that after got canceled.
The new low-rung Greenbrier that now doesn't even exist.
No, it's in the swing season now. Neiman won it this year.
They move it. I swear it could be gone.
It was the first one of the swing season now.
You're right. Neiman did want it, and we actually hit on that.
You hit so many, Jeff, you forget.
Listen, I can't even better be lucky than good.
Well, as you mentioned, like for first-time viewers of the show, like people coming in, it doesn't always come up red. Sometimes it comes up flat.
I lose a lot. I'm good at losing.
Yeah, I lost the first 12 events of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you lose in bunches.
Yeah. Make the ones count when you win.
I remember I was talking about Nas wins and a credibility issue, and I don't think winning this would add to that.
No,
I'm a fan of the guy.
But these are the kind of tournaments he can win.
Exactly. And like you said, it's the tournament Jordan should be at.
Go win this one. Just get the monkey off your back. Go win a tournament.
Plus, we played 4 good rounds, not 1 good round or 1.5 good rounds, 4 good ones.
So the other 2 guys that I'm very interested in, so like Bubba, I'm going to give it more of a look to. I'm going to still release my betting cheat sheet on Wednesday, even though I'm not doing the chat. But like Redman and English are both at 45. I like both of them this week, but I don't want like this number is still good enough. Like it's one thing to say, hey, like if Redman was 22 or something like that, it'd be like, well, that's an insta-pass. You're still at 45, and you can't hold his number against him last week. I bet him top 20 last week, and he cashed at 6-1. He was 175-1 to win. He was underpriced last week. Is he properly priced now? No. He should probably be like 60. But if I do think he's going to win, 45 is still a pretty good number. It's just versus like Kevin Na, who's sitting next to him, I have more faith in Kevin Na.
100% agree. And to that point, English was a guy whose number I went to look at early, and I didn't touch it because I'm like, it can't get lower. I was hoping to catch something maybe like you. 60 probably would have been a lot, though. 60 probably would have been a lot for English because I feel like he was 65 in like the full fields out of the gate. Like people have been on to him in general playing great, and he is a Corn Ferry
king
in terms of the type of event like he's got to win. He'll get hot at one point. You just hope he could carry it over. Does he got 3 days of hot and 1 day of holding it together?
That's what Lashley did last year. It was like 62, 63, 64, 70. And it was good enough to win by 6.
But if English was 60, I'd have already like hammered it.
But if that's the case, then you should bet him at 45.
That's sort of like the thing.
Just because you missed out on a number in your mind that should exist, which doesn't exist, shouldn't preclude you from actually taking a guy who you think is going to win.
I think I'm going to. I don't think my card will start in front of 40.
See, that's the problem with Hatton and Reed and these guys at the bottom. Like, that's fine. But if I think this is going to be like a complete shootout, I'd rather decrease the amount
I
that
can
I bet
afford
this week.
watching Victor lose at 20-1.
Yeah, me too.
And just
Listen,
say good for you.
I am a fan of Big Dick Vic. I hope he wins. I hope he wins this tournament. If he wins without me on board at 22-1, I'll be okay. I'll be rooting for him.
I'd rather just have more bullets.
So, it just like Day or
Not Day.
Sabatini, the Donald Ross master.
Sabatini never seems to play poorly.
No, but he never seems to play so great he wins. So it's a weird price. Like he's a good like top 20 bet, or
What
even
was
top
his
10.
odd?
50-1. He's 50-1. Jason Day is 55-1.
There's guys like just behind that I'm staring at,
So
and you could probably guess a couple.
oh yeah, in the 60 to 100 range. This if you wanted to start here and just take the European Tour All Stars, you could do that because
That's what
you could have. Let's look at it here. I mean, you can even throw Hadwin into that mix too as an international. He's 60-1. This should be a decent course for him.
I like every European you're about
But
to
you
name.
could have Bezenut. He's 66. Norin 75.
Me.
EVR is 70. Rafa is 75.
Me
Grace, I wouldn't play Grace here.
pass.
But like those guys, like they're good players.
I'm betting Rafa and Norin.
It's funny you say that. I think I'd rather take Hadwin and Glover. Glover has been amazing. The Glove, 66-1.
He's been got another good radio interview.
Sweet.
Feeling good.
I haven't
Made
bet.
some money yesterday. That's actually not a bad.
I will
play.
put this out here. I haven't bet anyone below 100-1 yet. I wanted to talk to you first. I guess I've talked myself into nah at this point, but this was the range that I found super intriguing. Because Bezenut can't drive, but he putts and hits irons. That's what you want to do here.
Beduzenhout.
No, not until he has a top 5 am I going to learn how to properly pronounce his last name. I saw that Kurt Kitayama and Andrea Pavon are trying to Monday qualify here.
I saw there was some book that had odds on it. He was like
I know,
a 5-1 favorite.
When I checked Oddsmaker, it was up there.
I was looking for
the odds.
I was looking for these odds, and all they had was the Monday qualifying odds on books that I certainly wouldn't know how to access.
I like that we saw the same thing.
Oh, we were looking. We're of course.
I don't know if this is a Norin or Grace course though. I'd want it to be a bit harder. Because like
Rafa's more of the birdie party guy.
Yeah.
Norin is more of shit.
Like if you like Norin or Grace, why not just double your odds and take Willett?
birdie parties. This event isn't worth Willett's trophy case.
I'd take it.
Literally, the guy wins the sickest events.
This is true.
For like with the limited amount of wins that he has.
So he has the Masters, he has the BMW PGA,
and he won the amazing Saudi event, like the stacked one.
Yeah, that's the European Tour final.
Yeah.
He won that, the DB whatever.
Like taking on Rahm on Sunday. Rah! I think that was at the PGA, the European PGA.
Yeah, and he took and the one in the desert, he took on like everyone plus Reed plus Rory and just ran them down.
And then we want to talk about the 5. I mean, yeah, and then he's got those 4 or 5 European wins from before the Masters, but he's never actually won a PGA sanctioned event.
Masters.
I don't consider
that counts as a PGA win.
A PGA win, but like he hasn't won like a just run of the mill. Like I guess this could. I don't know. What do you peg as a winning score?
Minus 23.
So that's where Willett and Norin.
Willett's been bad since hiatus. By the way, he's played all 3 events. He's been shitty.
Really
missed the
bad.
cut in all of them.
And he like birdied the first 3 holes last week.
Yeah, I sent you the thing like, hey, Willett, first round leader. Are we doing this? Rafa, I could see. For whatever reason, I think I like Glover better. Glover is so fire right now.
Oh.
And he loves easy courses.
He's just putting it to 4 feet every time I was paying attention to him.
Yeah, then he'll make half of them and you move on your way. EVR, very interesting.
I could do
just
this.
tee to green, he's so good.
I could do this.
Eric.
I mean, this is one of those bets where Oh, you're almost saying this guy makes WGCs. I'll take him versus this field.
Well, someone actually, because 6 of 6 was so like when I read out all the winners at the top, like all the people who won a lot of money. Like if you had just got a 6 of 6 through last week on DraftKings, or even like a high end 5 of 6 that had DJ, like you won a lot of money if you played in some of the smaller contests. Obviously, in the Millionaire Maker, you weren't going to win, but people play other contests besides that one. But someone constructed a lineup last week, and the only thing that they showed me the lineup, the only thing that they went off of was world ranking, like fitting it in. They ended up with like Shane Lowry in their lineup, who was like 7,100. And like, just take the good players.
You could blindly.
And sometimes you're like, no, I want to get sneaky and play this guy instead of playing the good guy.
There is a
It was like Louis, Day, Lowry.
You can be very successful at times, and I'm not knocking who did this. I'm not like per se calling them a square, but not really knowing the golf and the ins and outs and understanding that the world rankings are
a bit flawed. But what was
Flawed.
the only reason I had Satoshi Kodaira in a lineup?
there.
Because he was number 37 in the world rankings and he was like mid price.
Exactly. And my point, sort of, I don't even remember what I was saying. We're talking about Satoshi Kodaira, what was happening before that, the pricing.
So Hadwin, Glover, EVR are my leans in this range.
Because all the sharps don't want to play that. They scoff at the world ranking lineup. Like they snicker.
I'm
at
one of
it.
these people.
Like-
I'm guilty of it myself.
It's like, yeah, he's ranked this, but he's actually like the 200th best player in the world. Trust me on that.
So you want to get into these 100 to ones? Because I got guys up here. This is where I'm going to invest.
Are we more European All-Stars or
No. I'm
are we
ready for
taking a recent Corn Ferry champion? Because we're going to crush that one.
what, Kirk or List?
List.
No, I'm off list at this event. So here are guys that I've already bet from 100 to 1 and above with an each way to the top 5. I think Harold Varner might win this week. 100 to 1, Harold Varner with the each way. Kyle Stanley, 110 to 1 with the each way. See, woo! Kim, 125 to 1 with the each way. Played sneaky good last week, couldn't make a putt. Won at Wyndham, also a Donald Ross course. First or last with Siwoo, but he can compete here. Wes Bryan, 175 to 1. You know who has been the best player with an iron in his hand over the past 2 weeks? Wesley Bryan.
Insane.
You know who can go out and start dropping putts from anywhere at a moment's notice? Wes Bryan. You know who sucks at driving? Wes Bryan. But that means less here because everyone hits the fairway. Just don't put it in the woods, and he can compete at this tournament for sure. $1.75 to 1.
You have more?
I mean, I can add some more. I went to go bet Henley, Ryan Moore, and Ben Ann, and none of them are playing. Where are you at, Russell? Henley? The other guys that I was looking at, Peter Uline
Yeah.
has played.
We're just mentioning Corn Ferry guys that win 25 under. His trophies are from wins at 25 under.
How about Matt Wallace?
When you mention European All-Stars,
Guy who wins
behind 70
for one
to
thing,
1.
winning pedigree, and can go low.
And we've seen some signs because it was really ugly before.
It's still pretty ugly.
Inconsistent, less ugly.
It's usually like hot putter or not hot putter has been what it's been with him. But like Troy Merritt has to be in consideration at 200 to 1. He's another one of these guys that can just reel off 61s. Mark Hubbard just shows up every week. He's like a birdie making machine. Oh yeah, Matt Wallace loves it. But if you look on Fantasy National and look at average strokes gained by round difficulty, Matt Wallace, not the best at average difficulty courses or difficult courses, kills easy courses. Yes, Paul.
Any love for T-Dunks this week?
Oh, Dunks has been playing well.
He's been playing well. I was thinking,
Tringali?
what's the John Deere Classic? He played well there. So did Varner. They were part of my squad. Maybe a top 20 on Michael Kim. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, Michael Kim probably a bit much.
Top 20?
No.
Lanto?
What's Lonto at?
140?
I don't mind the guys in this range. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I betting Bryson at 6.5? Like, you either bet Bryson at 6.5 to 1 and bet no one else, or just take a collection of like 8
The
of these
amount
losers.
of money I would have to put on Bryson, it would be like a 3-star NFL Sunday bet.
Yeah. Compared to this. And let's say you put, I don't know, let's say you bet $10 on Varner. Let's say it's a $20 bet and you play the each way. So you get $10 on Varner to win. $10 pays $1,000. You get $10 on the each way at 25 to 1. The each way pays 4 times as much as Bryson's outright.
Any love for your boy Charles?
I looked into old Chucky Schwartz.
Chesson?
Chesson.
Snapping them?
Chesson's a bit interesting. Just because he's such a good ball striker.
I don't know. Now I'm just looking for like guys that have first round leader, like sick pedigree.
Yeah,
And maybe
yeah,
they
the
can
guy
hold it at this event. Maybe they can hold it for 2 or 3 more rounds. Sepp Straka.
Seb. So I'm just looking at birdies are better gained over the past 50 rounds. Van Rooyen's up there. He's 5th in that. Maybe Chesson Hadley's 9th. Oh, Munoz is the guy. Irons have been firing. Usually he's a very good putter, but he has not been recently. So maybe that flips back and all of a sudden Munoz is looking good.
You know who's been horrible?
What's his number anyway?
150s, just under Kazire there.
I'm going to get in on Munoz at 150. What's that?
How about Kazire though? He had 4 rounds in the 60s last week, and placed six last week.
You're looking to get rid of all that rollover money, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm literally placing rollover bets right now.
So
I played the first 4 that you said that you had bet. I'm just
So before his
wait for the
6th
cheat
last
sheet.
week at Travelers, I wanted a seat into the 555 this week. Had a great showdown day on Sunday because I had Kazire and no Brendan Todd. After I saw that Cuss was like, yeah, he's definitely going to win, get off Brendan Todd. So 6th at Travelers. Miscut, 68th, 61st, miscut, 68th, 58th, miscut, 42nd, miscut. Tough run for Kazire. Maybe last week he just figured it out, but he gained 5.6 strokes on approach. Believe, is that the most he's ever gained? No. When he won Sony, he gained 6.9. When he came second at Shriners 6 years ago, he gained 6.8. I'm not really buying into old Patton Kazire this week. Maybe to my detriment. But Munoz is the one I'm going to bet. I think that's...
I wish Putnam had any kind of pulse, but he's been horrific.
Yeah, he's been bad.
Horrific. I don't know. They did a PGA Tour, did a cool behind-the-scenes profile on Harry Higgs, just chilling out, drinking his vodka sodas.
Harry Higgs rules. I wish he was better. Like, he's good, but like I wish he was like awesome.
Yeah.
He'd be perfect for golf. So, strategy-wise this week, I'm going to go complete fade at the top of the board. Take some long shots. Enjoy the winnings that we've been rolling in. And maybe we get lucky. If we get lucky with one of these guys at like $1.50 to 1, rich.
I want to ask you if you're happy I didn't ask you about someone, but then I'd be asking you about someone.
So you want to bet Bo Hostler, do you?
Hunter Mahan in the field.
He had a similar, when you were explaining a player, I'm like, well, that kind of sounds like Bo Hostler.
Bo Hostler, who...
Wesley Bryan, except he's not hitting his irons.
Wes Bryan led the field in strokes gained approach last week by 2 strokes.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm betting him.
He gained almost 10 strokes on approach and he couldn't make a putt.
Betting him.
Wes Bryan makes putts, man.
Betting him. Yeah, we're betting him.
We're betting Wes Bryan. I already did bet Wes Bryan.
I am.
CT Pan's playing better too. The Panimal, who won at Heritage, 2nd at Wyndham. These are the type of courses he can play in. 225 to 1.
Did we just overlook Hadwin?
No, I said had one.
I know you brought him up, but did I like this?
No, you were too busy talking about Norton.
Yeah, and Norin and Rafa.
Yeah, no, outside of Glover, I think I like Hadwin the best of those guys.
Okay, one more question. Keegan.
Late add to the field after missing. I can see it. I don't love betting on Keegan. He has 1 win in 10 years. And it was a FedEx Cup event somehow.
Amazing.
But it's a tough go for him. Like, you could bet Grayo this week if you wanted to. Like, this is the sort of event that he can win if he has...
I'd rather bet.
This is the reason that I say the long shots, because so many birdies need to be made. That means you're betting on someone's putter this week. Like, no one's going to win this event by, like, being equal with the field putting. So, if you get the guys who gain the most, like, opportunities gained, set up birdie chances, just hope one of them catches a hot putter and you score big. And if Bryson wins by 10, then Bryson wins by 10. Like, whatever. You don't need to invest. If you don't have a strong feeling about a tournament, you don't need to bet just because there's something to bet on. I know we're guilty of that sometimes, but I'm trying to be better, Jeff.
Yeah, of course. I thought this year I've been more methodical with my cards as a whole. And I'm actually winning more with less names. So
Yeah, me too.
that works.
Like,
and I've got to, I'm just waiting for a Sunday. Not going to lie. Like, I'm just waiting for a Sunday with nothing to do in terms of like a sweat.
Yeah, this has been
Because
nice.
even the L at Colonial,
We had
Xander
everyone.
and Bryson down the stretch.
And I
it
had
felt
Rose.
great. And whatever, it didn't break off. And even though we didn't win, like I was so happy golf had such an amazing first weekend back. I was just as happy as a pig in shit anyway. So yeah, I'm happy. I don't know. Roulette could hit 00, but if it does, that might also mean you hit 100 to 1.
Yeah.
That's the other part, because we've been talking about it for weeks. Like,
20 to, I mean, Burger hit at 60, but 20, basically 25 to 1 to 40 to 1 has been the range.
No, but 20, I'll go the 20 to 60 even. I guess you could be right. Shorter, like 20 to 50.
Even there haven't been very many like 45s. So it's been like sub 35, like 20 to 45, 35 or above, like 60 or above.
Hatton.
Hatton was 60, Burger was 60, and then the rest were like 33, 28, 30, 22, that range. Like if you really want to make a card of those guys this week, you could go Sung Jae, Finau, Fowler, Scheffler, Nah. That could be your card. Those are your 5 guys.
Listen, I'm worried someone's going to break the bookie because someone showed me their tickets and like my friends, we all made the bet. Like you do not want you and all your friends to go in on a golfer on the same street book.
Yeah.
It will end horribly.
You won't get paid is what will happen.
You do not. You'll be like, you can bet this golfer, but do it at a different book.
That's
Because if we all win here, you guys aren't going to be able to pay us. And I'm talking about good street guys, especially with no football running or baseball running. Like, I know a guy that might be broken right now because of some screenshots people sent me.
Well,
and I'm worried about it.
That's why you use reputable places like DraftKings Sportsbook if you want to make wagers. You know why? They got the money to pay
They
out.
got the money to pay out. You do
Like,
not.
and right away.
Yes. You've never not literally. No one pays out faster.
No.
Shows up in my PayPal instantly.
It's perfect. I love it. It's put right
With the
there.
exchange juice, too. I love it every
Man,
time.
no tax, exchange juice. We're good to go. So, quick picks for the week. I believe after this conversation, I will start my card at Kevin Na, 40 to 1. I will give some consideration to Hadwin, Glover, and EVR at 60, 66, and 70. I might take one of those guys. I'll give a deeper conversation when I dig into the analysis a bit more. I'm talking to Raza tomorrow again on the show to the Redmond English Bubba tier. Maybe one of those guys, but nothing confirmed. I'm definitely going to bet nah. After that, I don't really know. Other than that, above, with the each way to the top 5, Werner, Stanley, Kim, Munoz, and Wes Bryan, all from 100 to 100.
Wallace? 'Cause I'm
I'm
betting Wallace.
thinking about
All
Wallace.
right.
I'm thinking about Wallace.
Where's Wallace? For me, bets.
Where's Wallace, String?
I came into the show with 2 bets in Finau and Rafa.
I'm shocked you haven't bet Ricky yet. This is the best value you've gotten on Ricky against like a shitty field in ages.
I guess the 60s that I pulled at the Heritage, this is essentially the same thing versus this field. Maybe better. You could argue better.
This might be. I think that there's more value on Ricky 33 to 1 this week against this field than there was at 60 to 1 at Harbortown. Yes. You have to remember though, Ricky, because he is the Rocket Mortgage guy.
Someone told me that's ended though,
I don't know, he's in those commercials.
and it's not ended.
Why else would he be here?
Great question, because he's a guy trying to find his game too.
Maybe that commitment is over. I thought it was still ongoing, but like we saw at the Farmers Insurance Open for years, like
Horrible.
he has so many commitments
Yeah.
that he has to do, and maybe this will actually help him.
The COVID,
like no one can be there.
There's no pro-am. There's no part Thursday night.
Did you see what they're airing on Wednesday?
No.
They have
Where?
on Golf Channel, Bubba, Werner, someone, maybe Ricky, forgot who it is. They're playing like a charity event.
The Golf Boys? Remember when Ben Crane and Hunter Mann could hang with Bubba and Ricky
Yeah, it's not happening. But Ben
and
Crane,
film content?
Ben Crane probably owned the camera. But they're playing this like weird 9-hole charity thing as a part of like their practice round, and Golf Channel is airing it on Wednesday.
Why
not?
not?
Yeah, we can see the course a little bit. It'll be cool.
I was hoping to see a replay this morning, and they were just airing old big breaks. I wanted to relive, like...
Was it the Tony Finau big break? He won that,
No,
I think.
Speaking of Tony Finau, my turn. The bet's in. Tony Finau, Rafa. I really like Kevin Na. I think I will bet Kevin Na.
4-star max play bet Kevin Na.
I'm tempted by Lucas Glover and EVR.
Okay.
I've kind of been talked off Norin because it's just
Have you been talked into Wes Bryan?
this win is like the opposite profile of every Norin win.
Agreed. You want like bad conditions,
Yeah,
lots of
like,
rough.
You want like the French Open at Le Club National. Like I'll bet Alex Norin. I don't feel like this is it. This is more like a Rafa setup. At the 100-1, I'm in on Wes and I'm in on Wallace, and I'm gonna bet Varner.
Get on Munoz too. Why not? 150-1.
I don't feel that one as much.
I bet you're going to get some. Oh, no, because Neiman's not here. I really want to bet Neiman this week, too, when he's not playing.
What do you think he would have been? Why would it be much
25?
shorter than Hatton? I guess Hatton won and came second.
Hatton's the 17th ranked player in the world. He's won 2 of his past 5 starts.
I forget about the other. I mean, I don't forget about Bayhill, but.
And he almost just won Heritage. And he's also, as we get into the one and done portion of this, coming off 3 zeros in a row, Jeff. Dustin Johnson winner. Tim is taking Tyrrell Hatton as his one and done, by the way. I'm looking at I printed out the sheet for us right now. I've almost caught up to Tim after my big win. So he is taking Hatton. I'm going to take Kevin Na as my one and done. So it's up to you. Coming off a 0 with Colin Morikawa.
Embarrassing.
The only 0 of his career, you've managed to find it. I bet
You
him
got
this week.
Am last week, so it kind of feels like the
I
same.
went Stenson, Webb, Im, 0, 0, 0, 3 weeks in a row, or 3 events in a row.
I'm so bad at one and done. I'm just trying to win our bet.
You're behind. You're at 1.8 million. I'm at 3.1. Tim's at 3.3.
I'm also behind in our draft we did with Ben and Rick.
Yeah, but Dustin
and
got you a
Jeff.
win, though.
But
Stenson has $0 for me.
Okay. Rick had a very good strategy going into it, being all the guys that were playing, but this COVID thing made his strategy so much better and mine so much worse. Losing a major and WGC's like disappearing. I was just taking all the super elites, so you guys were like leaving me. They don't play all the time. And now some of them have COVID and some of them never play.
Fratelli has COVID now. So that's also the thing to watch out for, too. Like,
Well, I enjoyed your chat on Wednesday in the heat of the COVID.
yeah, that's right when it
moment.
broke. Like, you have to act like it's going to go on. I expected it to go on, but I wasn't going to be crazy enough to not hear everyone talking about, like, all it takes is just a little push from the outside of the PGA, from Washington or wherever it might be, from the network itself.
Washington.
Whoever it might be, someone with a lot of power who controls a lot of the money saying, you know what, you're not playing golf anymore. Then they're not playing golf anymore.
There's a guy with a lot of power that's in Washington, and I think he loves
Yeah, I
golf.
think he likes golf and likes watching it. And he wants people to go to his myriad courses.
Yeah, he wants to show life's normal. There's people playing golf with no fans. I hope. I think it'll take 3 a week. If 3 go down this week, they're not canceling it.
No, I don't think so either. But we'll see. I just hope it doesn't happen. Is all I'm gonna
You know
say.
the saddest thing? I was
Who's your
worried
one and done?
The weather delay wasn't gonna get us golf in. I know I've probably already burned.
No, you have not used Finau.
No, I'm not using Finau. He's not playing well. I'm gonna just be crazy, Rafa.
Cabrera.
But I was worried.
Oh,
Pat,
did you agree when Tim and I were talking about how we're actually going to finish this one and done? Masters will be the last event.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I'll play by whatever rules you guys
Well,
decide.
that gives you more time to catch up.
As I was saying, I was worried they weren't going to be able to finish yesterday, and then is that 2 more COVID tests Dustin has to pass, be allowed to play?
Oh,
Because you just never know. What if he woke up tomorrow and didn't pass the Monday morning test?
What else did I have on my sheet? I had something else. Oh yeah, last thing. Fox gave up
Interesting.
the USGA, so they give up the US Open. It's now going back to NBC. I don't like this. I like the Fox coverage. And whether you like it or don't like it, I think it's important to have an outside voice like Fox in the mix of golf broadcasting, because CBS has done the same thing for 35 years. NBC has basically done the same thing for 25 years. Their broadcast has not evolved. It has not changed. Fox's wasn't great, but it got better every year.
They were trying
And they
things.
tried a
Yeah.
whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
It's like the XFL. The XFL is not great football, but their broadcasting style influenced the NFL enough to change it. They're like, oh, we could do that. And Fox was using cool jibs, the bunker cams, the mics everywhere. And they were kind of the leaders in showing as much as possible. They weren't going to commercial. They were getting a title sponsor. Stuff like that is important. The problem with them is they paid way too much for it. And I don't want to besmirch the U.S. Amateur or the Women's U.S. Open, but no one fucking gives a shit. No one's watching it on TV. They watch the Men's U.S. Open, and that's it. And the only other chance they had to perfect any of their technology was like the Franklin Templeton shootout. Like, as a part of that deal, they should have gotten a Rocket Mortgage, a John Deere, like 2 more events during the year to cut your teeth a little bit and be ready for it. But like, as you pointed out, they basically don't even, they have to go and hire CBS's crew to run this.
I imagine, yeah, they freelance crew and cameramen from the other things because they're not getting like their NASCAR directors to work golf. Or
They might.
I mean, okay, in that case, maybe they are. And to something you brought up, I think there's just when you are not running golf week in, week out, I think the infrastructure charge that like CBS and NBC are already paying, I've already just, because the overhead that they, for their infrastructure that exists, I think it's just a whole burden on Fox. And then you kind of said it. I think it became way more than they had to chew when they had to commit to the amateur and the women's. And no disrespect,
but they don't draw TV ratings. They just
became a burden, I think.
They paid too much for it to begin with. And then it's not that having to broadcast those was a bad thing. It's just they can't sell sponsorships on it to recoup their money. And it's expensive to run golf broadcasts, especially when you were doing what they were doing. Because it's not like if you had a John Deere Classic or a Rocket Mortgage, you don't have to go all in with production. For the U.S. Open, you do have to go all in for production. So that's shitty. But I like the outside voice that was in it. The broadcast itself was like good in some spots, terrible in some spots. Like, I like Joe Buck. He shouldn't be doing golf.
We got an interesting little run. It
like
started.
Darren Clark was good on their broadcast. I like cutting to
Shane
Darren.
Bacon.
I like Shane Bacon a lot.
Yeah. No, they did a good job. But yeah, I don't know. They started at Chambers Bay with Holly Sanders' tits.
Is that what they did?
Yeah. That's where it began. And when we had that, then Oakmont, then I guess a couple Brooks wins.
Pebble.
And here we are.
Yeah.
The Brooks one. Aaron Hills,
In
they would have done.
Shinnecock,
yeah. Interesting. You're right. It's disappointing because everything you said, and it's more than they can chew. And I guess, as our buddy Tim was alluding, the NFL monies are coming up.
Got to get that NFL.
So
a bit more important to get the NFL than your one golf event.
Whatever it costs, every hand on deck, every dollar in the coffers, as they would say.
Now, there is a flip side to this. Because NBC has everything going on, and obviously NBC owns the Golf Channel, and they have this NBC Gold, the digital deal with everything.
And the players debuted something pretty cool.
The players debuted we can watch any player at any time. Maybe we get that for the U.S. Open. Because they don't have the Open Championship to cover this year because it's canceled. They can invest all. That's probably a part of this, too. They lost the British Open. Like, yeah, we need a major.
But we
Go
also
get the
lost
US Open.
TNT. Not that they did anything great. But I'm just saying we're back to just our standard two voices.
Maybe they'll hire us for the alternate broadcast.
If they knew what they were doing.
You could charge for that. Not to say that we're a draw to it, but for a major, people playing head-to-heads, people playing DraftKings lineups, if you had to pay $5 a tournament to follow along with who you wanted to follow along for, I don't think it really matters who the commentators would be. I'm just pitching us as the people. People would pay for that. I would pay for that, for sure. I'd pay more than $5, too.
Oh, we've spoken about this many times.
You pay $100 a Chargers game.
I mean, they sell these things like they're trying to find the public median price. They don't know what a weak soul like me would pay per game if they demanded it.
Oh, and the big part about it, too, like I don't want to pay for Golf TV or the PGA Tour Live because I'm not getting what I want to see. I don't care to see 2 groups in the morning. Like, that's great and everything, but like I want to see if I have a bet that's Hank Lebioda versus fucking Brandt Snedeker. I want to see that par putt on 18 that he missed to what I thought was a push the bet, but I actually played it incorrectly and played it with the tie, so I lost the bet. But I still want to be able to see that and be able to sweat that the entire time. Because the only people that would pay for something like I'm talking about are people with money down. And people with money down will pay anything to watch what they have bet on.
When you're betting what you're betting, like what, $5 to watch it? You kidding me?
$10 to watch it. Probably sell it too.
I'm just, yeah.
Anyway, mini rant over. They'll do it. I apologize for not having like strong conviction and picks. Maybe Kevin now will just go win. Wouldn't that be great? We can't get that lucky, can we? Hit a turkey.
That'd be pretty impressive. I don't know. I'm expecting to have a free Sunday.
I would say lucky over impressive, but hey, maybe Wes Bryan will.
I'm expecting a free Sunday.
Maybe a Siwoo week. Feeling good about everything. I always feel good at this time of the week.
I felt really good Sunday morning. I even said to my buddies, I feel so good about this, it's probably a bad thing.
I felt good about it too.
Like,
until
real
I
good.
didn't, and then I was sweating hard on the back.
It kind of got annoying. And then my buddies aren't like even a golf fan, even if it's 18. On 18, message me to say,
Nice win.
no. Like, Dustin fucked us up at the U.S. Open once, didn't he? But he doesn't know golf, but he remembers that. Like, Dustin has that. Like, label. People that don't know the sport. Well, that follow it. It was a horrible moment.
Geoff Fienberg. Follow him on Twitter at gfienberg17. You can follow me at thepme. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Be doing giveaways on Twitter, likely on Wednesday. My betting card will also come out on Wednesday. The live chat canceled this week. National holiday for me. I will have my debut, the top 200 fantasy football players of 2020 with some pretty amazing guests. You're going to want to check that out. Tuesday, Ben Raza, DraftKings picks. You can find everything in the description of this video and podcast, including the PME Open link. I suggest you go get your spot right now before it fills. And fantasynational.com/Mayo gets you 20% off. I read off all those names at the beginning. A lot of those people, Fantasy National members. You become one too. Maybe you'll be a winner. Not a guarantee, but I mean, it can't hurt, right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. Smash the like. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!